Good morning, everyone. This is Jim Reynolds with Jim Reynolds Outdoors, and I'm here with a very special person, Spencer Kinsey of Alma. And we're not afraid to say that, Spencer. You know, even though we are here in Greenwood, Arkansas, it's okay. We're our
That's right.
buddies, but we like to watch a little football every now and then as well. But you've got a different spectator sport coming to Fort Smith. Tell us a little bit about what's coming up this weekend.
Absolutely, Jim. Jim, we're going to have the Arkansas State Criterium Championship. And that's a big word, and what does that mean, Spencer? What does Criterium mean? And that's bicycle racing in downtown Fort Smith, on the streets of downtown Fort Smith. So it's a 0.8-mile course. If I can go over the course real quick with you. So the old New Myers, I know there's a new Myers downtown now, but the old New Myers is going to be our start-finish. You're going to go Garrison west towards 6th Street, hang a right, go south on 6th Street, go north on 6th Street, go all the way to B, go 2 blocks east on B, go south on 8th. Then you will turn left, which would be east again on A Street, all the way to 10th, and then back up Garrison and across again. That New Myers will be the start-finish. So that'll be a 0.8-mile course, and then for each category there's timed. So it's a timed race. So there'll be about 11 races that day.
Okay. Now, you know, I grew up in the age of watching racing and all kinds of racing, whether it was NASCAR or Formula One or that sort of thing. You're actually bringing a biking event, kind of the same type of event on a bicycle scale, racing in downtown Fort Smith.
That's correct. We'll have all 4 lanes of Garrison Block from 10th to 6th. So we'll have a wide berth, if you will. We'll have a wide area to race, and there'll probably be anywhere from 30 to 40 individuals racing. That's men, women, and juniors in each category. So it's going to be exciting. We'll get up to speeds around 30, 35 miles an hour. We'll be cornering, and this is open wheel, and these guys there'll be some banging, and don't be surprised if you see some wrecks.
Well, that's really interesting because, you know, that's what we try to do here on our show, and we try to bring women and children and men. It's a family-friendly show, and you've got a family-friendly event as well.
Absolutely. There's no charge. We want folks to come and see. We want them to see what it's like, what these guys do. They're a bit of a daredevil, if you will, to be on 2 wheels and to be going that fast. But there's no charge. We're going to have food trucks down there. We're going to have a DJ set up. We're going to have, commenters or a PA system set up, folks that are going to be, commentating the event. So, and then obviously with the unexpected, I'm sure a lot of your listeners are aware of what's going on in downtown Fort Smith with all these beautiful murals that are being painted on the building fronts. That'll be completed that Saturday, and then again, our bike race will be on Sunday. So they'll have a great thing to walk around, see the bikes racing, and see all the beautiful artwork.
So, yeah, a great thing. You know, it's Sunday. Tell us what time and where you want the spectators to come to.
Absolutely. Sunday, starting at about 8 a.m., that's this Sunday the 13th, at 8 a.m. will be our first race, so they can feel free to come a little early. We'll have a truck set up down there that's actually going to serve breakfast and coffee and things like that. So if they didn't have a chance to stop at McDonald's or someplace, they can walk up to a food truck there that'll serve breakfast for them. We're going to have 11 races all throughout the day, but where we want them to be, all the sidewalks will be open. Understand that a lot of the streets will be closed, so they'll want to maybe park at the post office there at Towson and Garrison, or maybe at the parking garage, off of Rogers downtown there, kind of across from the Holiday Inn would be a good parking spot. So, there's going to be some parking. There's going to be a little bit of, some roads closed, so it's going to be a little not difficult, but a little different to get downtown. But know that there will be parking there. And then get out and walk around, as the weather's going to be great. And, get to see some guys and women and, again, juniors on bicycles going extremely fast.
Spencer, we're all about downtowns, whether it's Greenwood, whether it's Alma, Van Buren, or Fort Smith. We've got so much to offer right here in the River Valley, and you are help bringing an event. Tell our listeners a little bit about the types of bikes that will actually be participating.
Again, Jim, if I can kind of bring it into the world of cars, because I think we would live in a car world. These are the sports cars. These are the Porsches. These are the Corvettes. These are the Ferraris of the bicycling world. These are carbon bicycles that may weigh 16, 15, maybe even 14 pounds. and you've got guys pedaling, and we'll reach speeds easily of 30 to 35 miles an hour on different parts of the course. So these are really lightweight carbon fiber, 10-speed, 11-speed bicycles. Some of them now have even electronic shifting on them, which is something that's, that a lot of people don't realize. They don't have cables anymore. Some of them even have electronic shifting. So these are the top-of-the-line bicycles. These are the fast ones, if you will.
Well, tell us, Spencer, I know bicycling, up in northwest Arkansas, they're making bike trails. It's really popular. They're having bike races up there as well. Now you're bringing an event here to the River Valley. How have the bike shops here in Fort Smith, how have they been supporting you?
There are 3 shops here in Fort Smith, but the one that we have that is sponsoring our event is Champion Cycling on Rogers there. Just before you get to Walmart there on Rogers. I don't have their exact address, but that's our main sponsor of it. That being said, there are 2 other bicycle shops,
Sure.
but as far as our event, we just have that one bicycle shop, Champions, that is going to be sponsoring our event. They're going to be giving out what we call preems. So let's say you got 40 guys racing, and they know that they've got a timed amount, to race. We're going to race for 40 minutes, we'll say. Well, some of these guys may just sit in and say, you know what, I'm just going to save my energy. I'll get behind and draft, again, another NASCAR term that a lot of your listeners I'm probably familiar with. So they'll save a lot of energy drafting off someone else that may be at the front of the pack. But what they'll do is when they cross the start-finish, the announcer will say there's a $50 preem, which is a $50 cash that they can win. Whoever comes across the finish line first on the next lap. Well, then it stirs up the whole, mix of riders. It gets them motivated. And so where you might have had a race that was kind of just set and you think, oh, these are the guys that are going to be at the front, it suddenly changes everything because when they announce cash, as you well know, it changes everything.
Cash is king. I've always heard that too.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
I understand the sponsorship, and it's great that you could get that name out there. We understand that. We live on sponsorships here to get this information out to our listeners.
Sure.
We have a lot of great sponsors as well as listeners, and they know the importance of sponsorships, and so I don't blame you for that at all.
Sure.
Thank you for bringing such a great event. As far as, are you planning on doing this yearly, or is this a one-time event, or what do you think?
Great question, Jim. We have in the state of Arkansas, we have the Arkansas Bicycling Coalition, and that's who helps set the events every year for all things cycling. So any race or any road race or time trial or crit race that we may have that year, they set that event. And they like for us to keep those state championship races in the same spot for at least 2 years. So next year we'll probably have, again, the Arkansas State Criterium Championship in Fort Smith, but we're also co-branding this event and calling it Hell on the Border. And the reason why we're doing that is because we want it to go beyond that 2-year state championship event. We want it to become an event that will bring in riders from Oklahoma. What if we said, hey, Oklahoma riders, we want you to come into Fort Smith, and we want you to a grudge match, if you will, and we want you to bring your best riders, your best cyclists, and we'll put up our Arkansas riders against yours. And so it'll be Hell on the Border. And, who knows, it may be the Arkansas Marshals against the Oklahoma Outlaws. And then if things get big enough, we'll bring Texas in. We'll let them be the Texas Rangers, and we'll just have kind of a shootout, if you will, on our bicycles.
Well, those Oklahoma Outlaws, you're bringing in the old USFL from the football playing days of the 80s. I know all about that.
I forgot all about that. I did too, actually, until you mentioned that. That's right.
See, it was stuck back there in your brain somewhere, and you brought that forward, and it was up to me to educate you on that, see?
Well, I am from Alma, and we do love our football in Alma.
I know you do. And I know a lot of people are enjoying this time, and this weather this weekend is great. So, our show airs at 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. on Saturday, and again at 7 a.m. on Sunday, so that is perfect for you. I wish you all the best of luck, and thank you for being on the show.
Hey, Jim, thank you for having me, and we'll be sure and shout out, mention your radio station on Sunday morning.
Well, we really appreciate it. We'll talk to you later, Spencer.
All right. Thank you, Jim.